morning, students. Today's our chapter is the making of the national movement 1870s to 1947. This is from history. So we start the chapter. 1857 uprising or revolt of Indian independence led to rise of sense of nationalism. Last chapter we already discussed about the revolt of 1857. So 1857 was the year when uprising or revolt of the first Indian independence. The early political association like Purno Sarvajanik Sabha, Bombay Association, Indian Association, etc. wanted to have authority over Indians. Repressive acts like the Arms Act, Vernacular Press Act were passed, and Ilberg Bill controversy depend the desire for freedom in all the Indian organization. Now, some of the important dates are here, which are very important. I discuss one by one. The first one is 1878. The Arms Act was passed. The Vernacular Press Act was also passed. In 1885, the Indian National Congress came into existence. In 1905, Bengal got partitioned. In 1919, the Rowlatt Satyagraha started. What was the Rowlatt Satyagraha? That I discuss later on. But in 1990, the Jallianwala Bagh massacre took place because of Rowlatt Satyagraha Act. Next, 1920, non-cooperation movement started. Now, here you see the non-cooperation movement started. I discussed some of the things about the non-cooperation movement. Non-cooperation means how did the people participate in the non-cooperation movement during the 1921 and 1922, though it was started in 1920. Thousands of students left government-run schools and colleges. Many lawyers like Motilal Nehru, C.R. Das, Chittaranjan Das, C. Rajagopalachari and Asaf Ali gave up their practices. British titles were surrendered and legislature were boycotted. People lit public bonfire of foreign clothes. In this way, the Indians non-cooperate with British. And see the Jallianwala Bagh, the Rowlatt Satyagraha started. Here, I discuss one fact that because of this Rowlatt Act, Jallianwala Bagh, there was a gathering was there. That Jallianwala Bagh is a park in Amritsar near the Golden Temple. It is a walled compound in which General Dyer opened fire on a gathering of people during Rowlatt Satyagraha. General Dyer blocked the one and only entry gate and opened fire on the gathering, killing everyone present in April 1990. So this was the incident what was happened in 1919 during Rowlatt Satyagraha. Okay, Next one, 1929, the Congress resolved to fight for Purna Swaraj. In 1930, Mahatma Gandhi launched Dandi March. Now I discuss also Dandi March here. During the Dandi March, Gandhiji felt that the Purna Swaraj would not come on its own. It had to be fought for. He was very much concerned about the government's salt law. In 1930, he decided to break this law. Okay. And on 16th April 1930, Gandhiji, along with his followers, marched for over 240 miles from Sabarmati to the coastal town of Dandi. Here, they broke the government law by gathering natural salt found on the seashore and boiling sea water to produce salt. But the government tried to crush the movement through brutal action against peaceful satyagrahis. But the movement played a significant role in achieving freedom of India. The next one, 1942, the Quit India movement started. So, what was the Quit India movement? Quit India movement, some of the points I discuss here, please listen it very carefully. In September 1939, the Second World War broke out. The British government in India needed help from the Indian leaders. But the Indian leaders were ready to support to the British in the war. But in return, they wanted that India be granted independence after the war. The British refused to accept the demand of Indian leaders. This enraged the Congress people. They all resigned to show their protest. Now, Mahatma Gandhi was deeply perturbed. He decided to initiate a new movement against the British rule in the middle of Second World War. This came to be known as Quit India movement. He raised the slogan "Do or Die," which spread among the common mass very soon. But the people were warned not to be violent in any condition. But the British took repressive measures. Gandhiji and along with the other leaders were sent to jail, and so many people arrested, near about 90,000, and wounded 1,000, and more others were killed in police firing. But the movement did not go in vain. It strengthened the chances of India attaining independence. So, this was the Quit India movement in 1942. And in 1947, India got independence and Pakistan separated out as a new country. Now, economic impact of First World War. Huge rise of defense expenditure of Government of India. Government of India was in that time British government. Second, but the business groups earned huge profit from the war. Why they are getting the huge profit? Because it created a demand for industrial goods like jute bags, cloth, rail, and caused a decline of import from other countries into India. And the last one, as a result, Indian industries expanded during the First World War. Now, who were the moderates and who were the extremists or radicals? Moderates were against taking extreme action. They are against taking extreme action. They had deep faith in good intention of the government. They were of the opinion that slowly and steadily they would make the British go back to their own land. Okay, and they criticized the British rule in their speeches and sent representatives to different parts of the country to mobilize public opinion. Their main task was to acknowledge the British government with these demands. So they are known as the moderates. And who are known as extremists or radicals? This one. The radicals or the extremists within the Congress cherished different opinions. They had deep faith in action and wanted to drive away the foreigners as soon as possible. They criticized the moderates for their politics of prayers and gave emphasis on self-reliance and constructive work. They argued that people must fight for Swaraj. Unless they fought against the British rule, they would not unable to make their country independent. So, moderates were against the extreme action, but extremists had the deep faith on action or the extreme action. Consequence of partition of Bengal. Both moderates and extremists in Congress opposed this action of the British. And second, public meetings and demonstrations were organized, mass protests were developed, and this movement came to known as Swadeshi movement. Now, the last one, that Simon Commission. What was Simon Commission? The British government in England sent a commission headed by Lord Simon in the year 1927 to decide about India's political future. As the commission had no Indian representative, it was boycotted by the all political groups. When the commission arrived, it was met with banner and demonstration saying, "Simon, go back." So we come to end of this chapter, the making of the national movement 1870s to 1947. Thank you.